How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Mojo Grip. Mike here. Today I've got an airplane that is old in design but fairly new to the market, the experimental market. Stay tuned. We're checking out the Veloce 400. A sweet Brazilian design, and this is something that looks very similar, and if you pronounce it in Brazilian, it's Veloce, or Italian Veloce. Now, preference will depend on who you are and what sounds better to you, but this design right here is a four-seater experimental airplane, and I've actually followed this thing online. This is the first time that I'm actually seeing it in person. Now, being an aviation nerd that I am, I'm always excited to see new products, particularly in the experimental market. Now, what this brand is going for is to have the experimental version of a Cirrus. Right now, you look at it, it looks more like an RV-10 or even a Columbia 400, or what's another bird this thing looks like? A Lancair. But this is a very, very old design. As a matter of fact, this particular airplane is 20 years old, but the new kits coming out will have some really nice modifications to it. For one, see, like right here, you have a step up front, and even though these doors open up, the new ones will be more like a Cirrus, where the doors open sort of diagonally up. And the interior will also have 2 inches more headroom and 2 inches more width. Not that the width is not wide enough. I mean, look at this interior. You know that Cirrus, for example, has the widest interior in its class at 50 inches, and you're looking about the same in this aircraft. Again, if you've been looking at a Cirrus and you don't have $1 million to spend, you've got a fraction of that, this is an option for you. But let me go around as I talk about it. So right now, this demo plane, and this plane is flying. This is a finished built airplane, and it's flying. It uses a Lycoming 0360, so you've got 180 horsepower. Now, the new distributor for this aircraft is going with a different engine that's more fuel efficient. And I imagine that a builder also can choose their own prop. And the cool thing about experimental is that you can also choose your own power plant, as long as you have the right weight to power ratio, or power to weight ratio. But all in all, right now, you can have a Lycoming in there. You can have an Aeromomentum engine, which is up here. You guys may have seen it. If you haven't, I have the video link up for you to check out our review of Aeromomentum. It's a Suzuki, I believe, a Suzuki conversion engine, and they're pretty sweet. So you can have that as an engine option. Now let's get inside and I'll show you the interior. Now, I want you to use your imagination, because this is not the best looking interior, but guess what? Depending on who you are as a builder, you can do whatever you want. You can go luxury, you can go basic, however you want to have your interior, you can have it done. But this is a true 4-place airplane. Let me go from the back actually. And one thing you see about the wing also is that it's pretty wide, and you've also got this winglet here. Now, one thing this airplane will have over, say, a Cirrus is you will get more fuel efficiency and you can go faster. Again, it is experimental, so have that in mind. So here's what the interior looks like from the back here. You do have kind of this holding the front seat here, and let's look at that legroom in the back. I think it's fairly decent, and I don't imagine that you'd be able to scroll up and down in the seats, but I'll check the trailing thing there, see if you can do that. And then you've got some baggage room back there. Now, another difference that this airplane will have, or the newer build will have compared to this, again, going for the Cirrus model, is you're gonna have side sticks. So you see in this model, you have the single stick and rudder, but in the newer builds, you're gonna have side sticks. And obviously with your cockpit, you can do whatever you want as far as avionics. Right now, this model has glass dynon on it, and it's your typical cockpit here. Now let's get in. Actually, before I do, I should also mention that as a builder, you will have an option for parachute. So just like in a Cirrus that you have a parachute, you'll have one for this as well. And I don't know if you can hear the sound of the frame here. So most of this airplane is built out of fiberglass. I should mention that. Now let's get inside. First, let's see the ease of getting in and out. So to get into this airplane, you have a step up here. Imagine you can hold on to something, or just hold on to this here, and you can pull yourself up. Okay, and that's again another difference you're gonna have in the new builds is with the different door design. It's also gonna make it easier to get in and out. Now I'm gonna take a seat mainly in this back because I want to see how roomy the back is if you're carrying passenger. And because a lot of airplanes are designed as a four-place airplane, but can you really carry 4 average adults? So let me get in the back here and see how much room you have. Here I am sitting in the back seat. So my first observation, if you can see, let me go all the way. If you can see how high my knees are bent, I'm not going to lie, it is a bit crampy back here. And if you're on the taller side, say you're 6 feet and up, you might find it difficult, a little bit cozy is the right word to use back here, mainly your leg room. If you have longer limbs like I do, it's gonna be tight. Now if these seats move up and down, it might get a bit more comfortable. Right now I'm literally pressing my foot on the frame of the seat in front of me, so that's one thing to think about. But other than that, and again, the good thing about this airplane being experimental is that these things can be interchanged, so it's not a deal breaker, at least not for me. Now let me show you some of this other stuff that you find back here. As a matter of fact, before I do, one thing you're definitely not going to have an issue with is the width. Right now, I don't know if you can see how much, there's still like 3/4 of room left back here for somebody else to sit down. And then lastly is you see my headroom here, quite a bit of space, and again the new kits will actually have even more space, so you have 2 inches added to this, so I don't imagine you're gonna feel all cramped back here because you do have the headroom, you have the width. The only thing that probably needs to be adjusted is your seat. But let me turn the camera around and show you more of the cockpit. So you can see from back here, pilot, co-pilot, or pilot, co-pilot, and again you have full glass. Beauty about experimental is you have all that real estate and you can pick and choose how you want to design it. So I imagine you can have your analog or a nice glass cockpit here. You do have your electric switches on the left side, and then you have your breakers on the right. And you see, because this airplane is equipped or powered by a legacy engine, you have the push and pull levers. So I see a prop, no, not a prop, your throttle, and then you have a mixture. So that's likely a fixed pitch prop. Now, depending on the type of engine that you go with in your build, then you can design this however you need to. Now, again, if you look in the newer models of this kit, you do have one lever, just like you'd have in a Cirrus. You have a one lever throttle, and that's it. And so I imagine new builders or new owners will opt in for something like that. It's always, up to you and your preference. Now, in terms of vents, I see 2 vents up front. Now, vents are typically something I never really stress about, but honestly, once you start flying and you fly in really warm weather, trust me, the vents are gonna come in handy. Also, think about breathing in carbon monoxide, because you have to understand that a lot of piston engine airplanes, the exhaust is very close to you up front. So for me personally, when I fly, I always have my vents open so some nice oxygen can come in. So I haven't seen any vents back here. I'm trying to look. I do see 2 up front, so I'm hoping that there's some back here, or at least you can have a way of cutting some vents in for your passengers to get some air. But let us step out and talk some numbers. So here we are back. Let's talk some numbers and why you would be looking at this airplane as an option. One, the kits are fairly affordable when you compare to other kits in the market. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the paper point here. So, if you want like a quick built kit for this airplane, as of today, this is the price, $49,700. And what's more important is this, because depending on where you are in life, you really need to start calculating costs with time, because you think about it, how much is your time worth? And so this is very, very important, even more than this. So for example, if this was more and this is less, you may actually be spending less money. But long story, you've got about 50 grand and it takes you 1,000 hours to build a complete airplane. And if you want a super fast build, go up to $70,000 for $20,000 more, and it will buy you about 200 hours. So you spend only 800 hours building this airplane. And according to the distributor, right now, to build a fully finished airplane with IFR panel, you're looking at about $227,000. For a 4-seater airplane, that is very, very affordable. Now, your performance numbers, this airplane will cruise with the current setup at 190 knots, and you'll be burning about 15 gallons of fuel per hour. Now, obviously, you can always lean and get better fuel economy depending on what the wind is doing. But right now, that's what you would be getting. And depending on the power plant that you go with, that will also determine your performance rate. And the range you'd have in this airplane is 800 to 900 miles. For most pilots, you may not need that much, but I think that's a pretty solid number if you want to go somewhere far. But guys, let me know what you think. Please leave in the comments below. This is the Veloce 400. There is a 2-seater version of this airplane, and currently they're actually building a 6-seater version of this airplane, which will be a twin engine airplane. But let me know what you think in the comment below, and also check the description for more information on this airplane. Thank you all so much for watching. If this is your first time, be sure to subscribe with the notification bell on. Also, give the video a thumb up if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate it, guys. Consider becoming a Patreon or a premium member here on YouTube. And also make sure you check out aeroavion.com if you're in the market to either buy or sell your airplane. Until the next one, guys, I will catch you on the next video. Peace.